The Galactic Council Hall was never this quiet. The hall was huge, wide enough to hold ships, not just people. Floating lights glowed softly above thousands of seats. More than 300 alien races were present. Some were tall and thin, some were wide and heavy, some did not even have faces like humans. They whispered in strange sounds, clicked their claws, and flickered their colors with nervous energy. At the center of the hall, on a raised platform, sat a single object. A box. It was not big. It was not shiny. It did not look powerful. That was what made it terrifying. The box was made of dull gray metal. No symbols, no warning signs, no weapons attached. It rested silently, yet every scanner in the hall screamed danger. Red lights blinked on security panels. Defense drones hovered closer, locking their aim on the small, harmless-looking cube. No one touched it. No one dared. At the edge of the platform stood one human. His name was Captain Elias Ward. He wore a simple dark uniform, no medals, no decorations. His hands were behind his back. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. He looked small compared to the towering aliens around him. To many in the council, he looked weak. Humans always looked weak to them. The supreme chairman of the council leaned forward in his seat. His long neck curved as his many eyes focused on the box. "This meeting is called to order," the chairman said, his voice echoing through the hall. "Captain Elias Ward of Earth, you requested this emergency session. You arrived with this." He gestured toward the box. A low murmur spread across the hall. A reptilian general laughed softly. "That is it?" he said. "The great human warning fits in a child's crate?" Some council members clicked in agreement. Others watched the human closely, uneasy for reasons they could not explain. Elias did not react to the insult. "Yes," he said calmly. "That is it." The chairman narrowed his eyes. "You claim this box represents humanity's message to the galaxy. A message so important that you demanded full council presence." "Yes, Chairman." "Then explain it." Elias looked at the box. For a brief moment, something passed over his face. Not fear, not pride. Regret. Double quotes. "This box," Elias said, "is not a gift. It is not a threat. It is a warning." Laughter broke out again. "A warning from humans?" An insectoid diplomat buzzed. "Your species barely survived first contact. Your ships are outdated. Your weapons are crude." Elias nodded slowly. "That is true." The laughter faded. The hall grew quiet again. The chairman tapped a control on his armrest. A hologram appeared, showing data streams coming from the box. "Then explain this," the chairman said. "Our scans cannot see inside it. Our sensors cannot measure its contents, and yet it is broadcasting a classified danger signal older than this council itself." That caught everyone's attention. Even the ones who mocked humans stopped moving. Elias took a slow breath. "This box," he said, "was never meant to be scanned. It was never meant to be studied. And it was never meant to be opened here." The chairman stiffened. "You bring an unknown object into the heart of the galaxy and tell us not to open it?" "Yes." A wave of anger moved through the hall. "That is unacceptable," the reptilian general snapped. "We will open it, now." Defense drones shifted. Closer. Elias raised one hand. "Please," he said. His voice was still calm, but stronger now. "Do not open it unless you are ready." "Ready for what?" the chairman asked. Elias looked around the hall. At the powerful races. At the fleets represented by banners and symbols. At beings who ruled star systems and destroyed worlds. "Ready to understand us," he said. Silence fell again. The chairman studied the human. "You are saying this box defines your species?" "Yes." "And if we open it?" Elias hesitated. "If you open it," he said slowly, "you cannot forget what you see." A low warning tone echoed through the hall. The box pulsed once, very faintly. Several council members leaned back in fear. That box is active. Someone whispered. The chairman clenched his claws. Is it dangerous? Elias answered honestly. That depends on you. The chairman straightened. You are testing the patience of the council, Captain Ward. Elias nodded. I know. Then why bring it at all? Elias finally looked directly at the chairman. Because the galaxy is moving closer to Earth, he said. Your fleets, your borders, your wars. And you think humans are weak. He placed a hand gently on the box. We needed you to see what happens when humans are pushed. The hall filled with tension so thick it felt heavy. The chairman slowly raised his hand. Security, he said. Prepare to open the box. Elias closed his eyes for just a second. Please, he said quietly. Not yet. The chairman paused. Then he said, we will begin opening procedures after council vote. A deep mechanical hum filled the hall as the platform locked into place. The box remained silent. Waiting. And somewhere deep inside it, something older than fear waited too. The Galactic Council did not vote immediately. They argued. Voices filled the great hall again, louder than before. Some shouted in anger. Some whispered in fear. Many spoke at once, each race seeing the box through its own history of war and power. To most of them, humans were still a joke, a soft-skinned species from a high-gravity planet. Short lives, emotional minds, too fast to anger, too slow to forgive. Humans had joined the galactic community only a few decades ago. They had no ancient empires, no planet-killer weapons, no legendary fleets. At least, that was what everyone believed. Captain Elias Ward stood silently beside the box while the council argued his fate. Up was what everyone believed. Captain Elias Ward stood silently beside the box while the council argued his fate. Tall avian delegate spread his wings wide. This is a waste of time, he said. Humans exaggerate. Fear is their tool. We should open the box and expose the trick. Yes, hissed the reptilian general. If there is danger, our shields will stop it. Across the hall, a small amphibian diplomat shook nervously. What if it is not a weapon? It croaked. What if it is something else? That idea made many uncomfortable. The chairman raised his hand, forcing silence. Captain Ward, he said, before we decide, you will explain one thing. Elias looked up. Why do humans believe they have the right to warn the galaxy? The question hit harder than any insult. Elias did not answer right away. He looked around the hall again, at the banners, at the scars of old wars carved into alien armor, at beings who had destroyed worlds and called it balance. Because we have seen this before, Elias said. Seen what? The chairman asked. Underestimation. Elias replied. A few council members laughed again. Elias continued anyway. When humans first left Earth, we believed space would unite us. Instead, we found predators, empires, slavers. We were small. We were weak. And everyone knew it. The screens behind him lit up without warning. Council security tensed. But Elias did not touch anything. The screen showed early human ships, thin metal hulls, damaged engines, crews held together by hope and fear. These were our first fleets. Elias said, no shields worth naming, no advanced weapons. We lost many ships. The images changed. Human colonies burned. Evacuation ships fled. Civilians ran under alien skies. The hall grew quieter. We learned quickly, Elias said. Not how to conquer, how to survive. A crustacean warlord clicked angrily. Survival is not strength. Elias turned toward him. No, he agreed, but it leads to it. The screen shifted again. Human engineers working without rest. Soldiers training under crushing gravity. Medics saving lives with broken tools. Civilians rebuilding cities. Again and again, you see weakness, Elias said to the council. We see pressure. The box hummed softly, almost like it was listening. Pressure breaks most species, Elias continued. It broke some of yours. That is why you fear war so much now. The chairman's eyes narrowed. But pressure does something else too. Humans, Elias said. It forces change. The screens went dark. Silence returned. So the chairman said slowly, "You claim this box is proof of human evolution?" "No," Elias said. "It is proof of our limit." That made several delegates lean forward. "Explain." The chairman demanded. Elias placed his hand on the box again. "Every species has a line," he said. "A point they do not cross. Humans crossed ours long ago." The reptilian general stood up. "Enough stories. If humans are so dangerous, why hide this truth?" Elias met his gaze. "Because we are afraid of ourselves," he said. That answer shocked the hall. "We know what we become when survival is no longer a choice," Elias continued. "And we do not want the galaxy to see us that way." The box pulsed again. Stronger this time. Warning lights flashed across the hall. Security drones powered up fully. "Chairman," a council technician shouted, "the box is reacting to emotional stress levels in the room." Many delegates froze. "It is responding," the chairman whispered. Elias nodded. "It always does." The chairman slowly stood. "You bring a device that reacts to our fear," he said. "You tell us humans are weak, yet dangerous. And you ask us not to open it." "Yes," Elias said. "Because once you stop seeing us as weak, you will start seeing us as necessary." The council chamber shook slightly as distant systems recalibrated. The chairman raised his hand again. "Prepare for partial opening," he ordered. Elias's calm finally cracked. "No," he said sharply. "Not yet." The chairman paused, surprised by the change in tone. "You said it yourself," Elias added, voice low. "Once you see it, there is no going back." The box emitted a deep, steady hum, like a heartbeat. And for the first time since the meeting began, the Galactic Council felt something new about humans. Not fear, not laughter, but doubt. The box opened without a sound. No explosion. No flash of light. No scream of energy. Just a soft mechanical click. The Galactic Council held its breath. A thin line of white light appeared along the top of the box. The metal surface folded inward, with slow, careful movements, as if the box itself was thinking before each motion. Defense drones locked on, weapons charged. Shields rose around the platform. Nothing attacked. Something rose instead. From inside the box, a small object lifted into the air. It was not large, not sharp, not glowing with power. It looked broken. The object was round, dark, and cracked along one side. Thin wires hung loosely from it, old, damaged, silent. Confusion spread across the hall. "That's it," the reptilian general said in disbelief. "This is your great warning?" Several council members laughed nervously. The tension released just enough for arrogance to return. Elias Ward did not smile. "That," he said quietly, "is not a weapon." The chairman leaned forward. "Then what is it?" Elias watched the floating object carefully. "It is a memory." The object suddenly powered on. The hall lights dimmed as every screen activated at once. The floating object projected a wide field of light, filling the chamber with moving images. Gasps echoed through the council. They were seeing Earth. Not the calm blue planet shown in human tourism files, but a violent living world. Storms larger than continents, oceans crashing like monsters, volcanoes tearing the ground apart, predators hunting predators. "Is this a death world?" someone whispered. "Yes," Elias said. "Our home." The images shifted. Early humans ran through forests, hunted by beasts with teeth and claws. They fought with fire and stone. They bled. They fell. They stood up again. The council watched in silence. "This is not strength," an avian delegate said uneasily. "This is chaos." Elias nodded. That is how we began. The projection changed again. Human wars. Cities burning. Explosions tearing through steel and flesh. Soldiers carrying wounded friends while still fighting. The council felt it. Now not just images, emotion, fear, pain, rage, hope. The floating object was not showing history. It was sharing it. Several delegates staggered back as the emotions hit them. Some collapsed into their seats. A few screamed overwhelmed. Stop it, the chairman shouted. Elias raised his hand slightly. The object dimmed, but did not turn off. This is only the first layer, Elias said. A record of what shaped. U.S. The reptilian general clenched his claws. You show us your suffering. Why? Because you think humans survived by luck, Elias replied. We survived by learning. The object shifted again. Humans building shelters in frozen lands. Humans crossing deserts. Humans sailing unknown seas. Humans stepping onto alien worlds for the first time. They adapted. Again and again. The hall was silent now. No laughter. No whispers. You feel it, don't you? Elias said. Every scar. Every loss. The chairman's voice was tight. This device, it carries emotional data. Yes, Elias said. It was designed that way. For what purpose? The chairman asked, so no one could misunderstand us. Elias answered. The object flickered. A warning symbol appeared simple. Human made. This is not the end. Several council members recoiled. How many layers does this box have? The chairman asked quietly. Elias hesitated. Enough, he said. To tell the truth slowly. The box made a deep locking sound. The object lowered itself back inside. The metal panels closed halfway, stopping on their own. The box was open, but not fully. The chairman swallowed. That was not a weapon, he admitted. Elias looked at him. No, he said. That was what came before weapons. The box pulsed once more, steady and calm. As if reminding them all humans were not dangerous because they built weapons. They were dangerous because they learned how to endure. The council chamber did not return to noise. It stayed quiet, heavy, uncomfortable, and tense. Many delegates avoided looking at Captain Elias Ward. Others stared at the box as if it might open on its own. The memory object had vanished back inside, but its presence still filled the hall. The emotions it released clung to every mind like a shadow. The Supreme Chairman broke the silence. You showed us suffering, he said slowly. Pain, survival. But every species has a past like that. Why hide it? Elias did not answer right away. He walked a few steps away from the box, then stopped. His back remained straight, but his shoulders looked heavier now. Because, Elias said, what you saw was only the beginning. Several council members stiffened. A mammalian delegate spoke carefully. You are saying there is worse? Yes. Elias turned back to face them. Most species grow strong, then calm, he said. You build empires, then laws, then rules to stop yourself from destroying everything. The chairman nodded. That is called civilization. Elias gave a small, sad smile. For humans, civilization was not the end of the fight. It was just a new battlefield. The lights dimmed again. The council reacted instantly, but this time no alarm sounded. The box had not activated. Elias was doing this himself. New images appeared, controlled, limited, and clear. Humans standing between smaller alien races and invading fleets. Human ships holding defensive lines far longer than expected. Human soldiers refusing retreat orders until civilians escaped. The council watched closely. You never reported these battles, the reptilian general growled. No, Elias agreed. We erased them. A wave of shock moved through the hall. Why hide victories? An avian delegate asked. Because victory changes how others see you, Elias said. And we did not want to be seen that way, the images continued. Human medics treating alien wounded before their own. Human engineers repairing enemy ships so refugees could escape. You protected those who would not protect you, the chairman said. Yes, Elias replied, because we remembered being small. The box gave a soft hum, almost approving. Then, why bring this now? The chairman asked. Elias's expression hardened. Because the galaxy is changing, he said. Borders are tightening, fleets are moving. And once again, humans are being watched as prey. That word echoed, prey. You think we would attack Earth? The reptilian general snapped. Elias looked directly at him. No, he said. I think someone will. The council shifted uneasily. We hid this side of ourselves, Elias continued, because humans are good at one thing above all else. War, someone muttered. Elias shook his head. Control, he said. The word landed hard. When pushed, Elias explained, humans do not break quickly. We lock everything away, anger, fear, mercy. We save it for when survival demands it. The chairman leaned forward. And the box? The box, Elias said, is a lock. Several delegates gasped. A lock on what? The chairman asked. Elias placed his palm flat against the metal surface. On us. The temperature in the chamber dropped slightly. Sensors flickered. This device contains records, systems, and protocols, Elias said. All designed to activate only if humanity faces extinction-level threat. The hall erupted. You brought a doomsday trigger into this chamber? The reptilian general roared. No, Elias said firmly. I brought proof that we never want to use it. The box pulsed once, slow and deep. If humans are so dangerous, the chairman said carefully, why trust the council at all? Elias met his gaze. Because we believe understanding prevents fear, he said. And fear creates enemies. The chairman was silent for a long moment. Then he asked the question no one else dared. What happens if the lock is fully opened? Elias closed his eyes. When the lock is fully opened, he said, humans stop asking permission. The council chamber felt suddenly very small. The box remained closed, waiting, and for the first time, the Galactic Council understood why humans had never shown this before. Because once seen, it could never be unseen. Fear does strange things to powerful minds. The Galactic Council had ruled star systems for centuries. They had crushed rebellions, erased species, and rewritten borders with a single vote. Fear was something they believed they had mastered. But the box did not fear them. The Supreme Chairman looked around the chamber. He saw it in their eyes now, uncertainty. And uncertainty, to rulers, felt like weakness. We cannot allow this device to remain partially understood, he said. At last. Knowledge must be complete. Captain Elias Ward stiffened. Chairman, he said, voice tight, you have seen enough. Enough to worry, the chairman replied. Not enough to decide. The reptilian general slammed his claw onto his console. Open it fully, now. Several delegates hesitated, others nodded. The vote counters began to light up. Elias took one step forward. If you open the final seal, he warned, this stops being a lesson. The chairman met his eyes and becomes what? A consequence. The vote completed. Authorization granted. The platform beneath the box locked into place with a heavy clang. Thick energy fields formed around it. Council technicians shouted data streams as unfamiliar symbols flooded their screens. Final seal disengaging, a mechanical voice announced. The box did not resist. That was the first mistake. The final lock released with a deep, echoing tone that vibrated through bone and metal alike. The box opened wider than before, its interior no longer dark. It was empty. Confusion rippled through the hall. There is nothing inside, someone said. Elias's face went pale. No, he whispered. It has moved. Every light in the council chamber flickered. Then the entire hall shook. A pulse surged outward from the box, not an explosion, but a wave. Systems screamed. Shields collapsed. Drones froze mid-air and dropped to the floor like dead insects. "What is happening?" the chairman shouted. The answer came from the box itself. A calm human voice filled the chamber. Protocol witness activated. The air changed. Gravity shifted slightly, just enough to make movement difficult for most species. Temperature stabilized at human comfort levels, not alien ones. This was not an attack. This was a takeover. Elias slowly turned to face the council. "You opened it," he said. "So now it will show you everything." The walls of the chamber became screens. Star maps appeared, galactic, detailed, and terrifyingly accurate. Human colonies, hidden bases, emergency routes. Defense lines the council had never detected. "You were mapping us?" the chairman demanded. Elias shook his head. "We were mapping threats." The map shifted again. Alien fleets, supply lines, weak points. The council went silent. "This system is not a weapon," Elias said. "It is a mirror. It shows what we see when survival is at stake." The reptilian general staggered back. "You said humans were afraid of using this." "We are," Elias said. "Because it means we failed to trust." A new message appeared, pulsing in red. Galactic response window. Open council alarms howled. "Shut it down," the chairman roared. Technicians tried. Nothing responded. The system was not listening to them. It was listening to Elias. He stepped closer to the box. "This is the moment we warned you about," he said quietly. "Where curiosity becomes danger," the voice spoke again. Council observation complete. The lights returned. The gravity normalized. Systems slowly rebooted. No ships fired. No worlds burned. Yet everyone in the hall knew the truth. The galaxy had just been measured, judged. The chairman sank back into his seat. "You said this was not a threat," he said. Elias looked at him with tired eyes. "It still isn't," he replied, "unless you make it one." The box sealed itself shut, and the Galactic Council realized, too late, that their greatest mistake was not opening the box. It was believing they controlled what came after. The council chamber looked the same, but nothing felt the same. Screens were dark. Systems were stable again. The box sat quietly on the platform, sealed and still. No alarms, no lights, no signs of power. Yet every delegate in the Galactic Council felt exposed. The Supreme Chairman was the first to speak. "You said the box was not a weapon," he said slowly. "And yet it controlled our chamber." Captain Elias Ward did not argue. "Yes," he said, "because control is not destruction." Some council members flinched at that. Elias stepped away from the box. For the first time, he put distance between himself and it. "The truth," he said, "is that there was never anything dangerous inside the box." Confused murmurs rose again. "The danger," Elias continued, "was always what the box would make you realize." The chairman's eyes narrowed. "Which is?" "That humans do not need permission to survive." Silence followed. Elias activated a small wrist device. A single image appeared above his hand, simple, clear. A human child holding another child's hand on a ruined street. "This," Elias said, "is why the box exists." The image shifted. Humans rebuilding cities. Humans standing guard while others slept. Humans refusing to leave fallen allies behind. "We do not fight because we enjoy it," Elias said. "We fight because we remember who depends on us." The reptilian general spoke again, but his voice lacked its old confidence. "You showed us power, planning, control. Why hide this from the galaxy?" Elias looked tired now. "Because power invites challenge," he said. "And humans are very good at answering challenges." The chairman leaned back slowly. You fear yourselves, she said. Yes, Elias admitted. Because when survival is threatened, humans stop arguing. We stop debating. We act. The box gave a soft click, not opening, unlocking something else. Final message appeared on the central screen, plain text. Human-made. This device is not a trigger. IT is a test. Several delegates inhaled sharply. A test for whom? The chairman asked. For you, Elias said. The message continued. If you seek control, you will find resistance. If you seek understanding, you will find allies. The chairman stood slowly. You place the fate of first contact in our hands, he said. Elias nodded. Just like you placed ours in yours years ago. The hall was quiet again, but this time it was different. It was thoughtful. The box powered down completely. No hum, no pulse. It was done. Elias turned to leave the platform. Captain Ward. The chairman called out. Elias stopped but did not turn. If we had not opened it, the chairman asked, what would have happened? Elias answered without hesitation. Nothing, he said. And that would have meant you trusted us. He looked back once. Humans did not come to dominate the galaxy, Elias said. We came to make sure we never had to become monsters. Again. The council watched him walk away. They finally understood the truth inside the box. It was not technology. It was restraint. The Galactic Council did something it had not done in centuries. It listened. No alarm sounded. No votes were called. No fleets were summoned. The great chamber remained quiet as Captain Elias Ward stood alone at the center, the sealed box resting behind him like a shadow that no longer needed to move. The Supreme Chairman rose from his seat. Captain Ward, he said, his voice steady but changed. This council has judged species for 1,000 cycles. We believed strength was measured in weapons and numbers. He paused, looking at the silent box. We were wrong. Murmurs spread through the hall, not anger this time, but agreement. You showed us a people shaped by pressure. Chairman continued. A species that learned control before conquest. Elias said nothing. He only listened. The chairman lifted a data slate. By unanimous decision, the Galactic Council recognizes humanity as a protector species. Gasps echoed across the chamber. Protector species was not a title given lightly. It meant trust, responsibility, and respect. You will not be ruled, the chairman said, nor ignored. Elias finally spoke. We did not come here for titles. We know, the chairman replied. That is why you deserve one. The council chamber doors opened slowly. Outside, representatives of countless worlds watched in silence as the decision spread across the galactic network. For the first time, human status was not debated. It was accepted. The reptilian general, once loud and mocking, stood and bowed his head slightly. We mistook calm for weakness, he said. We will not make that mistake again. Elias looked at the box one last time. It will return to Earth, he said. It will remain sealed. The chairman nodded. And if the galaxy ever forgets this lesson? Elias met his gaze. Then, he said, we will remind you, together. The box was lifted by a quiet transport field, already shutting down completely. No signals, no warnings. It had done its job. As Elias turned to leave, the chairman asked one final question. Captain Ward, what should history remember about today? Elias stopped at the doorway. He thought for a moment. Then he said, that humans were not the strongest species in the room. The council leaned in. But we were the ones who chose not to prove it. The doors closed behind him. Across the galaxy, records would mark this day as the moment everything changed. Not because of a weapon, not because of fear, but because one species showed the universe something rare, power held back by choice. And from that day forward, whenever humans entered a chamber of kings, warlords, and empires, no one laughed, no one doubted, and no one ever asked to open the box again.